Am I more than you bargained for? Cool. Been 200 years since the bombs all blew.
I really like that the commitment to using a lot of practical effects. I think a lot of shows would have just digitized the Brotherhood of Steel, and I'm sure that would be fine. You know, like no one's like, oh, Iron Man sucks, right? That's all. But the practical suit just adds something.
Welcome to Fallout Boys, the officially unofficial podcast for Fallout on Amazon Prime. I'm Jim.
I'm Aaron.
And today we're covering Season 1, Episode 2, The Target. Aaron, what'd you think of this episode?
If you are a club member of Bald Move, you've heard this story before, but, you know, people... So Jim and I, as we discussed last season, we didn't cover this because we're kind of pissed at Joy and Nolan for the way Westworld turned out. Is a video game property, which is always a checkered experience, except of late, there's been some success and then finally Amazon Studios had not impressed us with season 1 of the Rings of Power. So we're just like, you know what, we can, and we didn't play Fallout. We're gamers, but it was like, what? Yeah, we'll just miss this. This sounds like a fucking mess. And then the slow trickle of, oh, this is a great show. Oh, you're missing. Oh, I can't believe you don't. So finally, what I do is like, you know, I sometimes I get bullied into watching shows by the Bald Move audience. And that certainly applied here. And Jim had already started watching, and Jim started bullying me. It's just a rare instance that Jim got onto something first. Is like, yeah, I really think we should. It's usually I'm the one trying to get Jim to drink the well water. So, fun fact, me and Jim share an Amazon account, like most married couples. And the thing about when you share an account, and there was a weird thing about the interface where Jim had already watched it, so I saw that, you know, that first episode had been watched, and I went to rewatch. But like, it used to be that if you weren't like 3 seconds on the spot, that when you would go to that episode to rewatch it, it would see that you were at the credit sequence and just automatically go to the next episode. And me, a guy who's, you know, taking that opportunity to get my notes ready to take, you know, I ended up watching this episode. I think I watched episode 2, 3, and 4 and then complained about like perceived bullshit that Nolan and Joy were doing because I completely missed out on the backstory of the 3 main characters. Oh,
God.
So then I went back and I was like, okay. And then I ended up loving Fallout. But it's funny because when I was watching this, I just kept on marveling at how well it does work as an episode 1. You know, like the way the characters are introduced and the settings, and like it doesn't there was nothing that made me feel like I'd missed a whole fucking episode. I thought, oh, they're just throwing me into this middle of things, and primary characters Vault Dweller, they don't know what the fuck's going on. They're the audience surrogate, and there's this ghoul guy. So I have a special fondness for this episode of like, that was my takeaways. Like, this is clearly a good show and it looks amazing, but why do I care? Like, why do I care about this girl's father? Why do I care about this dude? Why do I care about, and so it's a completely different experience. Yeah, it's a completely different experience when you see it in the correct context. Jim, what about you? What was your reaction to this episode?
I saw this in order of airing, the correct order, 1, 2. And I really like this episode. I think it's a great... Not only is Lucy like I hesitate to even say fish out of water. It's more like she just doesn't know what's going on.
She's a rad roach out of sand.
Sure. Maximus is also in that same boat. I get the feeling that he has not, since being a child, been off of this Brotherhood base in these barracks, and he's discovering, especially once he gets the armor, he's discovering a whole new world out there, much like Lucy is. And there's a weird sort of connection between them over the course of this episode.
Is it weird?
I think it's weird, but I know Maximus a little bit better than she does.
Well, okay, because like just on the surface, she, you know, she's super hot. As Ma June says, has clean hair, nice teeth, all of her fingers. So that explains Maximus's fascination. And I think Lucy, like, this has got to be like red meat to her. Like, oh, there are literal knights in shining armor. It's not all just a law. There are people who care about justice, and she doesn't know that he's actually just attracted to her. So I thought it made a lot of sense on both sides, and it's kind of like this weird meet cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really good because like it's a mistaken sort of identity here. I don't think Maximus is the knight in shining armor that she's holding him up to be. I think there's a lot of question marks around him, who he is.
For sure.
Like that this episode expressly leans into, and I think that is really intriguing. There's this question about, you know, who this Dr. Wilzig is, like what was his role in whatever went on here and is going on here. What is this thing he's putting into his neck? There's just a lot of questions that it raises, and I will say I forgot how damn entertaining this show is. Over the weekend, I went and I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes, I think, because I want to get full watch in again before we get too far into this. Yeah. And it's just relentlessly entertaining.
It really is.
There are so many clever moments that become hilarious in retrospect. I'll talk about one of them that is maybe my favorite line in the series to my recollection, but it's not funny on the face of it. It only becomes funny in retrospect, maybe on a second watch or if you're really paying attention on a first watch. It's just relentlessly entertaining. It has a tone to it that is like a lot of things, but just quirky enough that it distinguishes itself too.
Yeah, it's very funny, but it's not a silly show. Like it is a universe that takes itself seriously, but as a consequence of that, lots of absurd things happen because there are no rules, you know. Yeah. The rules are made up and the caps don't matter. You're right. And I think this is an episode that it kind of as an audience member, if you're watching them in the proper order, it kind of resets your expectations because Lucy is this ultra competent vault dweller. You know, she's good at combat. She's good at guns, and maybe kind of like uniquely so amongst the vault dwellers. Like she's really into it, and you're like, oh, she's going to take to this like a duck takes to water. But then you find out that like, no, the vault dwellers, even ones that are very proficient in physical arms and martial skills, are just not built for this world. Mm-hmm. And the ghoul that you think is just like this bloodthirsty bounty hunter has a softer side when, you know, he's got a reason for it, but he resurrects the dog and, you know, kind of clearly takes pleasure in that companionship. It's, you know, I don't know, Hitler has a dog moment. And then finally you think that the Brotherhood, it's like, well, they're ruthless and they have this kind of Darwinian Lord of the Flies system for getting their squad. But like, surely with the knight, but then you find out the fucking knight's Michael Rappaport. One of the most gauchious piece of shits you can ever find on this planet. And his whole affect, like some of the comedy is subtle, but like him, fuck, running that chunky suit from the bear is just pure comedy.
Oh yeah, quality stuff.
It really, you know, it like the last episode was all about the world building and introducing these characters. This episode was about kind of like turning you on your head about how things were going to go.
Showing you the other side of the coin, which I think they're going to explore quite a bit more in this show, if I had to guess, is this dynamic between the two worlds that now exist, and maybe the two worlds that have always existed, between the rich, who are the vault dwellers at this point, and the poor, the people who are just trying to get by, who are the surface dwellers. Yeah,
there's a lot of lot of commentary, even though this takes place 200 years in the future after the United States has been nuked, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But as a fun project, if you want to get into the mind of Aaron, I encourage everybody watching this episode on a rewatch. Just pretend like you don't know anything about Fallout And it's because like I knew a little bit about Fallout, so I'm like, oh, okay, so she's a vault dweller, so I know she's going to be the fish out of water type. And the way they introduced a ghoul, like it's like a little introduction, And the main central mystery is introduced in this episode, which feels like a very Nolan thing. But I'm like, Nolan and Joy, it's like they are so up their ass. They think that they can get us hooked on this story with just because it's a mystery with no character motivation. And we're going to have all these fucking flashbacks. It's going to explain her Nope. It's just episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still listening to this podcast after I confessed professional malpractice and incompetence, what else we got to say about this episode before we get right into it, Jim?
I think that's it.
Just in general, like this episode, like I love the sets of this show, and it must be a lot of fun because like this isn't like you're trying to make a space station. This is like you're trying to make a dump that has a whole bunch of military hardware and planes cutting. And it just must be fun to build and costume, because essentially you just go to Goodwill, buy the store out, and then no wrong answers, throw this guy, you put this guy in a wedding dress and throw chaps and a duster over him and put him in a boom. He's a wasteland trader, take a guy who looks like Tim Minchin, put him in a top hat. He's a chicken fucking snake oil salesman. Also, I really like that the commitment to using a lot of practical effects. I think a lot of shows would have just digitized the Brotherhood of Steel, and I'm sure that would be fine. Like no one's like, oh, Iron Man sucks, right? That's all. But the practical suit just adds something. All the practical effects, all the props. You go into Ma Jun's store and it's just a marvel. There's just so many things to look at and read and notice in the background.
Especially when you're trying to create a world that is fictional and it doesn't like compare to anything we have currently. You're trying to create a world that is otherworldly. You want to ground it somehow. And I feel like those physical effects do. It makes it feel like a Western, like a when he's having the shootout in town. Yeah. And, it's almost like I don't know if you've ever seen like the Water World exhibition out in California at Disneyland.
No, but I have seen Waterworld a time or 3, so maybe.
Well, there's the difference, right? Like the Waterworld movie feels like a movie. This thing is like just a bunch of people on jet skis and boats and like doing crazy stunts right in front of your eyes. Like, it's real. There's no faking any of that. That's what this feels like in a lot of ways. They're pulling people on cables and smashing them into, clearly shitwood constructions, but like still they're really doing it. That stuff gives like a credence to the world that you could lose because it's a fantasy.
Agreed. And God help me, I love power armor, practical power armor. It's just, so good. And then the other thing is like a lot of shows use darkness and weather effects to hide some dodgy CG. I just was like so impressed by how Walton Goggins' fucking face was just out there in broad sunlight getting highlighted, and you could actually see the light blending through the skin layers and illuminating his cavernous sinuses. And it's like the closer you look at the ghoul's face, the kind of realer it gets, which is I thought, again, just amazing how confident they were in this effects work.
Real quick before we get into the recap, I wanted to bring up something that I found interesting. I don't know. We had somebody write in, Nick wrote in and said that he was not sure if he's alone in this opinion, but he really strongly does not like the Fallout Boy type theme that we did for this show. And I will say, I have also seen some people on Discord saying, not my favorite thing in the world. I'm really curious to know what the listeners at large think about this. So I went ahead and I made a poll.
And to be clear, there's also a lot of like, this is fucking rad, this is awesome, we love it stuff too. So,
And I find it hilarious. I think it's fun. But I don't know. I really want to see what everybody thinks about this. So I made a poll on the free tier of our Patreon that we're going to link in the show notes. If you guys want to go over there and just vote yes or no on this thing. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Whatever. I'm really curious to see what people think. Not saying we're going to change it. No promises there. If everybody hates it 100%, maybe, but we like it. So we'll see. Just curious.
Conducting a psychological experiment to see how long people will listen to a podcast with a theme song they hate, and whether we can eugenically make people of incredibly poor taste in music. I think that's what our goal of this project is. But appreciate all the feedback. It's always hard because we didn't have we had the one was like just absolutely not, and then some people are like yeah, what's the average Joe think? Speaking of free tier Patreon, you can sign up for that. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a great way to keep up on what we're doing, because you will get notifications of all our show posts and all that kind of stuff, and when we're starting new coverage, and no obligation to join. All right, I think that's it for the non-spoiler stuff. We're about to spoil the hell out of the second episode, except for we're not going to spoil anything past episode 2. That's our pledge. We will have a spoiler section at the end. I've got a couple topics I want to talk to Jim about, and maybe we'll see if we have some feedback. Let's talk about episode 2 of Fallout Season 1, The Target. We open with the birth of a dog of destiny, CX-404. Her eventual master, Dr. Wilzig, takes pity on the undersized runt, and instead of incinerating her, as per policy, keeps her for himself and raises her in secret. He's also doing some top secret research, the result of which, some glowing blue splinter, he injects into his neck. Soon after, a supervisor discovers his secrets, forcing him to flee his research facility with the glowing blue chip and dog, which he's named for short, in tow.
4. That's not this dog's name. Come on. It's dog meat. Obviously, it's dog meat. If you know anything about Fallout, you know dog meat.
Do they actually christen the dog meat eventually?
I want to say they do, but I'm not certain.
Because, I was going to CX-404, and then later the doctor calls her 4 for short, and I'm like, okay, I'll start doing that. But obviously, this is an allusion to one of the big NPCs of... I can't remember when this dog was introduced, but obviously, dog... If the video game assigns you like a dog or a horse, you're going to bond to that digital animal, unless it's a horse from Skyrim. I hated that thing. But having personality too. They're completely replaceable. Like,
sure.
Anyway,
we're going through chickens quicker than clean water. Send a few caps our way at support.ballmove.com and get ad-free podcasts in return. You're back for more cousin stuff, aren't you? Welcome back to Fallout Boys. I am less concerned with dog meat and more concerned with what this man is injecting into his neck. It's some shiny, potentially radioactive kind of glow material. That seems to be a mystery. They don't really address it, but you have to assume that that's part of the reason that he is headed to Moldaver.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's another kind of recontextualization, is that we think this... I think you're supposed to think this scientist guy is an all right guy. You know? Mm-hmm. He seems to be
better than a lot of the people up there.
Exactly. And he seems to be speaking favorably of Moldaver. But Moldaver was the raider that killed a bunch of people and kidnapped. So it's like there's another kind of like, do I know the full story of this? And as you find out, he knows so much about the background of the world. That's like 200 years of history. He knows so much about the vault stuff.
And Lucy herself knows her name.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. Mm-hmm.
Did you notice? So there's a couple of fun things about this character. His full name is Dr. Siggy Wilzig, and he shares this name with a real life person named Siggy B. Witzig, who was a Holocaust survivor. He was 16 when he was interred in Auschwitz, liberated in 45, came to America in 47, I think as a 22-year-old, became a self-made billionaire and philanthropist who was one of the founders of the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. Is there anything other than him, like a Holocaust is taken on a special consideration of something for the Jewish people experienced. Obviously, a million of them rounded up in camps, exterminated through much of Europe. Is it just that, like, that this is another Holocaust and this guy survived it, so his parents, being ironic, named him after that? Is just Nolan and Joy having some fun with history? What's your read on that?
I don't know. I look at that and I go, well, who the hell would remember any of this? Like, in my mind, the surface dwellers are post-history at this point. Like, they have lost everything about the human record, and no one knows anything. Like, a toaster oven is like their highest achievement, finding a toaster oven, not even making one. So I can't imagine anybody would name him this as an homage, like his parents. But I can imagine that Jonathan Nolan was just like inundated by his brother continuously discussing World War II and the atomic bomb and the Holocaust while he was trying to make Oppenheimer. And this is what came out of it. He's just like, he's got this name sloshing around in his head from Christopher just going on and on and on about it.
Yeah.
And he just throws this out.
I get it. Right? World War II is important, bro. Damn.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good take. There's another... I really like that. I guess that a lot of this character's actual characterization comes from another character that this actor, Michael Emerson, he's the guy that plays Dr. Wilzig, was on Person of Interest.
Yes.
He's got a pet Malinois. He's got a nasty limp after losing his foot and having to use a prosthetic. And I guess that Finch, his gait was caused by having some kind of cerebral palsy or something. But it's like, again, there's a lot of these inside jokes where it's like, well, what are we going to make this guy well, just wholesale take his other character, I think that's really funny.
Which that Person of Interest show, in case anybody out there doesn't know, is created by Jonathan Nolan. So
right.
Experience already with this actor. And yeah, that could definitely be just some fun nods to that they're doing.
So so the things I wondered, because you see these dogs being experimented on, I don't think 4 ever got the injections that the other dogs got. It doesn't seem like. But is there anything special about this dog other than, because we literally are with this dog in the womb as it's delivered.
Yeah. And
this guy just has this human moment of, I don't want to throw this puppy into the incinerator. And also, hey, I love dogs, but I also love the fact that they put in these little yelps as the runt puppies were thrown into this incinerator. Like, it's very black humor.
Yeah, definitely callous here on the part of these scientists for sure. I don't know if there's anything special about dog meat. Other than, like, it's the hero dog, because dog meat is like the dog from Fallout. There are a bunch of dogs in Fallout, but dog meat's the one that if you know any of them. So I don't know. The others have like antennas on them, like communications packages. I don't know if those are hardwired into their brains or what's going on there. But it seems like the special thing is it just got treated better. Like dog meat, she got treated a lot better than the rest of these dogs.
Yeah, so she defends her master. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like but the things that she handles in this is like a dog can rip a human male's throat out. I believe a dog could kill a possum-sized rat's roach. But I remember the first time I watched this and the ghoul stabbed it, and I'm like, there's no. You're going to find out this dog is like unkillable. But turns out it needed a stim pack, so it's like, Is there something special about it? Because clearly there's something special about the dude. He's got the stuff coming out of his neck. Like, you're also wondering, where the hell is this place? It's in a snowy, mountainous terrain, which essentially rules out I mean, this could be any place west of Dallas, or west of Denver, essentially, right? You know,
Sure.
We were just in Palm Spring. If you went up in the mountains, it could be there. So is it in the Rockies? Is it in the Sierra Nevada? I don't know. And what faction does it represent? It doesn't seem like it's a Brotherhood thing. It's certainly not a Vault thing. It's associated with Moldover, but not part of Moldover's faction because, you know, he's working at odds with these guys.
Yeah, it's tough to know. I was looking around all the signage here, just trying to figure out if there was anything that would indicate whose operation this was. Is this... I will say, I don't think it's Moldaver's going concern, because he is clearly trying to exfiltrate whatever this material is. Like, in my mind, this is all connected, right? Like, he was paid to get this material out, get to Philly, get routed to wherever Moldaver is with this material. And that's why he has Lucy cut his head off, you know, at the end of this, because that's where the material is. Not just that it's easier to move him around that way.
You think he'd say, hey, there's a glowing blue sliver.
Right.
Cut that out and put it in your boot. You know, don't tell anybody about it. But like, no, I got to get the whole fucking head involved.
Yeah, maybe there's some kind of proof, some kind of identity she'll need once she finds Moldaver. Or maybe there's a security door she has to open with his retinal scan.
I hope he gets there before the retinas detach or degrade or whatever. But yeah, that's another thing. It's like, what is the head important, or is he just not, you know, trying to make it simple for the Vault Dweller? And also, so was he going to leave the next day and the director just happened to catch him while he was tuckered out from injecting and cauterizing this thing in his neck?
I suppose so. Like, the injection's probably the last thing you do before you leave, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the first thing. Like, if it goes horribly wrong, you're dead anyway. So maybe do that first. And if that goes right, then you do the rest of the plan.
Then you take off. But he was ready. I cocked a little eyebrow at the minigun turret. Like, again, I guess I don't buy that, like, Jules and Pulp Fiction, they walk through that hail of autocannon fire unscathed. And I'm like, whoa. Yeah. You know, when I was a kid, Arnold Schwarzenegger would, like, would run tiptoe across the ground, and there are little explosions. And you understand that people are aiming at his feet too low. I don't get this. What's this fascination with modern TV producers that want to put their hero in ultimate peril just to have them unlikely survive it? Like,
yeah,
damn,
it's not very dramatic, because I don't know. Having seen the show before, it wasn't dramatic this time around because I know he survives that. But like, I think it wants to also demonstrate just how bad a lot of the technology is here, and not actually like competent anybody on the surface is, I think.
Because I was going to ask you, like, if you thought that, like, was this, were they trying to hint that the doctor maybe, because he's got this Pip Boy, did he's able to, like, program it to, like, miss him or something? Or
I wasn't getting that.
Yeah,
I just think it's bad technology, or old, like,
that's a good take,
running technology.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like, you know, the Brotherhood is like, that's what they're nakedly all about. We don't know shit about science. We need to go find things so that we can take them apart and understand them.
Right.
Let's move on to Lucy, where we see her searching for a father through the wasteland, and kind of enjoying the freedom of having this big sky and no one looking over her shoulder. You know, it's an unpleasant task, but she's making the most of it. She finds nothing but abandoned settlements and sand, and as the first night draws near, she builds a fire for warmth, but's awoken shortly after that night by Dr. Wilsig, who warns her that she is completely unprepared for topside life before leaving her with his dog once more.
I did notice some of the things she was taking note of, like the ocean really seemed to be magnificent to her, which she's never seen it before, right? I mean, maybe she's seen pictures, maybe she's seen some reels of it, but the environment she lives in, even the fake one, is just a field. It's just a cornfield.
Yeah, Nebraskan cornfield.
So that big body of water must be awe-inspiring. The other thing is the tumbleweed that rolls past her upsets her, I think. I agree. Tumbleweeds are upsetting.
Tell me about it. I spent a couple of years as a teenager in Texas. And one of my jobs during tumbleweed season was to go out and clear the fence line of tumbleweeds, because the tumbleweeds would tumble until they hit a fence, and then they get caught up in there. And God, I don't know what I hate worse, the tumbleweeds or the fire ants. But yeah, fuck those tumbleweeds.
They suck. I mean, they're also a representation of death and barrenness. Like,
right.
It's everything that humans despise.
Yeah, you see that in a vulture in a desert, and you know, oh God, this person better get water fast or they're done for. There's a couple things. There's a teaser for later in the episode, the Econo pack of Plan D, Vault-Tec's most humane product that Lucy sees. And, you can see as a Vault dweller, that really just, concerns her that these people committed suicide.
I want to know what plans A, B, and C were. So I think plan A is don't
Vault.
Fire nukes off.
Oh.
Right. Plan B is the vaults.
Okay.
What's plan C?
Cousin stuff.
And plan B and C go hand in hand, don't they? Yeah. The vault, the cousin stuff, and then you take the cyanide pill.
This guy, tells us about these rad roaches. This is a joke. It's kind of overblown because I think they did this test in Mythbusters, but roaches are only like 4 times as resilient to radiation as people are. In a full-blown nuclear war, they'd be hurting too. But we have this, common conception of like, well, they'll be the things that inherit the earth because there's so many, they're so hardy, and they've grown big. They've got teeth. They're man-eating. That's my first thought. It's like when I saw her going to sleep by this fire, I'm like, oh my God, people can see this fire from in a desert miles around. And she's just lucky that Wilsick found her and not, I don't know, Mr. Sand pure water purifier guy or the chicken fucker or anybody really.
Yeah, he tells her, I don't think you'd be willing to do what it takes to survive up here. Setting her up for a necessary adaptation.
And she's like, well, I'm not going to leave with my father. He's like, I just wonder if you'll still want the same things after you've become a different type of animal. And you'll have to survive.
Yeah.
Next, we see Maximus, the newly squired Maximus, to his Lord Titus as they're heading to their first mission in a contraption called a vertibird, which is just a really chunky armored V-22 Osprey. Titus seems more of a Lannister type of knight than a Stark type of knight, if you know what I mean. Meanwhile, the Doctor comes to rest at the mouth of a cave before quickly evacuating the area. Soon after, Titus advances on the cave and discovers the reason the good Doctor hightailed it. It's the den of a tumor-ridden rad bear called a Yao Guai, and represents Squire Maximus's a unique opportunity for a battlefield promotion.
Mogwai?
This Chinese word, Yaguai, is apparently just means monster. And these are irradiated black bears, North American black bears, is what the Fallout Wiki tells me.
The friendliest of the bears. So you don't want to meet a irradiated grizzly in this world.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know.
So I was trying to think of because they're what is it? If it's black, because there's a common saying for North American bears: if it's black, fight back; if it's brown, lay down; and if it's white, good night. Because polar bears are just the fucking worst,
Yeah.
I mentioned that the Titus seems to be lacking in knighthood, and I do wonder. I mentioned this in the spoiler section of last week. And now we can talk about it. Do you think that the Brotherhood might have okay, we've got this shitty squire who might have fragged one of their fellow squires. We got this shitty knight that doesn't believe in his mission and he's a coward and hard on let's just pair them together and we'll essentially be rid of one problem at the end of it, no matter what. Or they find find the target and get redemption.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case because this feels like an important mission, more important than the toaster oven mission, right? And I would think you would want to send out a competent knight on this mission. So in my mind, this is representative of all knights. Like, knights have a reputation that does not actually match up with who they are. No. I don't know how they got that reputation, if it's pure propaganda that they've been spreading through the wasteland, or if it's maybe some random acts that have been blown out of proportion here. But I feel like this is most knights, in my opinion.
I don't know if I agree. Because I just don't know enough about the organization.
Yeah.
And but it is interesting that Maximus got assigned to this guy, and he's very vulgar, and he's very cowardly.
He's a coward. Yeah.
He's not very good. Like, I feel like he should have been able to beat that bear pretty easily.
Yeah.
And to your point about why would you send this knight, I got the idea that this was like an all knights on hand mission. Like, that airship came in and like every knight available got dispatched, and maybe Philly is the least likely place that they thought. So I don't know.
Okay,
I'm making a whole bunch of headcanon for why.
I am too.
Yeah. But
we're 2 episodes in. You kind of have to at this point.
Right.
But we'll see if our ideas change.
And it's like, again, as a first watch, I'm like, what do I make of this institution? This knight is a scumbag. The squire seems like he's just trying to do his best, but he's forced to shine a codpiece. But then he betrays his, and I'm like, well, okay, I guess he was talking down to you a little bit, but it's more of, I guess, him trying to completely turn this failure around on Maximus.
Yeah, but honestly, like, if I look at episode 1 and what I see of the Brotherhood, it doesn't paint any rosier of a picture.
Yeah. Well, I thought it's like, again, you got the raw recruits. Because I also, to put my cards on the table, I'm bringing a lot of Warhammer to this because there's a lot of similarities. And that's very, like, the initiates to be a Space Marine can be all kinds of vicious criminal thugs. But eventually the fit survive, they become Space Marines, and then they become these vaunted Knight Brotherhood things. Although, to be fair, a lot of them are assholes too. I was thinking
the
that
apprenticeship program, they're actually forged into the valiant knights that they're supposed to be.
Because you want someone tough and aggressive above all else. You know, someone that's capable of wielding violence, that's tough. So it's like, have it where they're all beating the shit out of each other. That seemed like but then once there's nothing in the clerics when we met the CEO of Evil Corp, for example, that suggested that they were anything but a learned, organized body. They've got all this amazing machinery. Like, they can't all be buffoons like the knights, or it wouldn't work. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. Yeah. Again, love the practical effects. I saw the behind the scenes that this rad bear was also that they did a mocap on it, but they built this like roughly rad shaped shell around the guy, like a Five Nights at Freddy's suit. And again, it's just really, you can tell, there's a physical weight there when things are being moved. And again, Michael Rappaport just, that deep voice, fuck, oh crap, as he realizes he's over his head. Love it.
And that's, I think it's really hilarious.
I love that line where he's like, and for a toaster, like, this is his last mission, for a toaster oven. You know what you can do with the toaster oven? And he doesn't answer it, but the obvious answer is make toast. Like, can you imagine being sent on an important mission for the Brotherhood, and it's a toaster oven? Oh, what does this do? Well, it makes toast.
Sure.
It looks like Maximus's plan is to kill this guy, and if he can find the target, first of all, I guess he doesn't give a shit. Like, he's done with the Brotherhood, but if he can get the target, he can get back in her good graces and instantly become knight. He can tell whatever story he wants to tell about what happened to Titus. He did get hit by Rad Bear. Look at these Rad Bear scratches on the armor.
I will say this scene here, I think, is also really designed to reinforce the question of, was it Maximus who sabotaged Dane? We never get an answer to that last episode. I came down on the side of, I think based on his body language, it probably was.
This guy seems very opportunist.
If he can leave this guy to die, over a few insults, I could see him being jealous and angry enough for being passed over that he might do something like that to Dane.
I was surprised that Michael Rappaport was so wounded that once, Maximus was openly, I'm just going to let you die. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to eventually die, but first I'm going to get up and I'm going to crush you with this power suit.
Yeah.
But I guess he was like really fucked up in that suit.
He should have torn his codpiece off and tried to throw it at him to kill him. That'd have been fun.
So I also really liked it. Again, I'm a technology nerd, and I just loved how they get. This is a real, I guess, V-22 Osprey that they modified to look like some kind of future transport. And I love the heavy duty zip lining where they just hook it up and they just drop this night, and the Squire just kind of has to ride like a baby in a baby carrier. And the other thing that's funny about this is, like, you would think that the knight would carry his own gear because it looks like it weighs about as much as a person and he could do it effortlessly. But because of the feudalistic thing they're going for, it's the Squire's job. And it's also a cool idea that you'd have a support person, like an engineer go out that's like his sole responsibility is to keep this guy fighting, Sure.
Makes sense.
Back to Lucy. Lucy asks directions from a man wearing a loincloth and cowboy boots and is directed to the nearby town of Philly. Time for an ad break. You've got two choices to avoid them. Vault-Tec's Plan D, or go to support.baldmove.com to get an ad-free episode. And we're back with more Fall Out Boys on Bald Move. Why do you think Philly is called Philly, Jim?
It's not because it's Philadelphia. She could not have walked that far.
Correct.
In any amount of time.
But that's what I thought too. Is this like a new Philadelphia that someone founded and they forgot that there was an old Philadelphia and now it's just Philly?
Maybe. I
have the answer. Do you want to know it?
Yeah, I'd love to.
So this was a giant municipal landfill that was immediately colonized post-apocalypse because it has all this cool stuff and equipment, and it just kind of has built up around it, and it was the landfill, and it became 200 years later Philly.
All right.
Little Bodie McBoat face when it comes time to naming a settlement, but hey,
It's just over the hill. I love the direction in this episode, especially in this scene where every time they shoot, most shows will do, like when they're doing two people talking, they'll shoot over the shoulder. This show shoots across the ass of this guy. Like every time they show Lucy, they're showing this dude's ass in frame, which I think is hilarious.
Who's wearing some kind of like diaper. I do wonder. I did wonder, like, how does this guy live out here? Is it just because he has nothing that is worth taking and he's deeply stupid? Like his whole Lucy finds him, like, what are you trying to do? I'm working on this water filter. No matter what I do, I put in sand and I just get more sand out. And she's like, well, have you tried filtering? And he just like gives her the blankest stare. Like, how did you survive? Did your daddy die last week and you're just coasting on the fumes of a more competent person?
There's some subtle stuff here in this conversation too that I think is really funny. Like he's talking about how, it's too dangerous to go to Philly. His daddy died there. His siblings died. Whoever died there. He also says, my aunt got killed there once, which can be hilarious for two reasons. It could be very funny because he's too stupid to realize that death is permanent. B, or it could be that death is not permanent in this world, as you see with the ghoul, right? Like that's clearly not a man who's alive. So his aunt became. It's just clever, Like I don't know. I really like the writing in the show.
And just like the fact that he just gulped her thing, but not like because he's rude. That's just like someone hands you a thing of clean water, you drink it all. Like, it's like almost a Fremen where spitting at you is a sign of respect. Maybe like returning to water with only a sip would be a sign of like you're a gullible idiot. Although this guy is a gullible idiot, which sets in high relief what Lucy seems like to the outside world. And I love how she's leaving.
So is Lucy, right?
Right, exactly. And he's offering marriage. And then when she's like, oh, no, thanks. He's like, but I'm real sick. You wouldn't have to put up with me for long. You can have all this. And he gestures to this fucking... I don't know what you would call it.
Shack. I don't know.
Shack has 4 walls and a roof. I think none of these houses have more than 3 walls and half a roof. So a ruin shanty. We're going back to Maximus as he dons the armor for the first time and just spends time reveling in the suit's speed, strength, and endurance. But soon he finds his first wasteland cause to throw his moral weight behind, defending a chicken fucker from an angry farmer.
This is not Tim Minchin. Are we sure that Tim Minchin isn't acting under another name? Because it looks so much like Tim Minchin. It's crazy.
I actually looked at, because I think this looks like Tim Minchin from when I first discovered him. Because I found out that he and I are about the same age. This guy is like, Tim Minchin from 20 years ago, but he is not Tim Minchin, but he definitely is a Tim Minchin type.
Mm-hmm. This scene has what I think is my favorite line of the entire series. Potentially, again, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I think it is absolutely hilarious when he saves this guy from strangulation, and the guy gets up and he's praising him. Oh, you're a gentleman, you're a scholar. I'm familiar with this. It's not the first time I've been persecuted for my scientific curiosity.
Right.
And it's just a line. Like, he's just saying, like, he's, a curious person and he's just doing what he does. And then you find out at the end of this scene that his scientific curiosity is fucking chickens. And that's what he means.
Like, he's also a snake oil salesman. Is this part of the alchemy he uses to make his substances, or is it just like
I guess
it's just cover for him, any cloaca in a storm kind of philosophy?
I'm not sure. I suppose it could go into his tinctures. Whatever results from the chicken stuff.
Yeah.
There's chicken stuff. There's cousin stuff. Who knows what's going on up there?
Tincture of chicken seed, I think is what he calls it. And apparently can regrow limbs.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as he's waving goodbye to the citizens, he discovers that he has hand torches. Which I guess when I was writing my notes, I'm like, oh, this might be a spoiler. But like, it turns out, the suit flies. You find out this episode. So those aren't just torches. Those are Iron Man jets. You're supposed to understand.
And I'm glad they give a little nod to it at the end of this scene, because later when he just comes hovering in, I would have been like, what the fuck? He can do that. Just because he wouldn't be practiced enough. But I get that he's been out there flying around for a little while now.
Yeah, he's on the job learning.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't seem like he can really handle the power.
I wonder how hard it is to power a power suit. It seems like it would be very user intuitive, but the flying aspect, I don't. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, the
like
balance
it's
required.
At least as hard as a stand-up paddleboard. And boy, I tell you what, the first hour of that was painful in my experience. Mm-hmm. So we've heard a lot about Philly, the dump turned frontier town, and Lucy eventually arrives there, where she finds her reception indifferent to hostile. She heads to the local trading post, and we see the ghoul spot her and see her distinctive vault dweller outfit and take notice.
Yeah, I love the set here. They're
so
using
good.
every part of the plane. They've got kind of a market street where you've got the people hawking all sorts of wares, and then you get to the actual downtown, and the sort of portal into it is the fuselage of a downed plane or a scrap plane, whatever it is. Great set design. It just looks so good.
Great sets. Yeah, and it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it sounds easy because, that's a dump, but like, honestly, making stuff that like this look cool and like of a piece and not just a random assortment of crap is a skill. And they're doing, I love the people are selling dog meat, so you get that reference in. They're selling iguana meat. It's like, these are not what we consider delicacy. There's no beef, no pork. The only chickens I've seen are used for sexual purposes. Got dogs and iguanas. I love that our producer Talith is getting. Every time I say chicken fucking, her face gets a little bit more revolted. It's like, she's all right. Shirley, this is the last mention of chicken fucking. Oh God, it comes up. Yeah.
I saw a sign that said stingwing meat, which I take it is like a flying insect creature from Fallout.
Yeah, sounds like a flying scorpion if I were to bet on it, but we'll see. I love that because I was, when on my first watch, I clearly remember like, okay, there's actually goats. Like you'd think that there would be like they'd at least have more than one leg or something. And then she gets a whole ass 2-headed cow that is CG, but it's I think it's pretty well done. And I really
she seems to
dig it.
really like. She takes to this cow just immediately. She smiles, her eyes light up.
Yeah. It's like because these are just all things she's never seen before. And probably heard about them, right? And it's probably a shock that there's this much going on upstairs, right? Because I think the Vault Dwellers think that there's nothing. It's like impossible to live. Like it's just going to just be a wasteland up there. But people are, if not thriving, figuring it out.
Yeah, I mean, I have some questions about that. I like the connection here that sort of leads her to this Sundries store. It's the Pip-Boy in the window.
Yes.
So she assumes, oh, there's a Pip-Boy. My father must have been through here, which, I don't know. You've been out of touch for a while.
Seems like Vault Tech is in demand.
Mm-hmm.
So inside what turns out to be Ma Jun's sundry store, Ma Jun gives Lucy an education on how the world perceives Vault Dwellers. Turns out Ma Jun also has all 10 fingers, and she uses 2 of them to give Lucy a message about... And then it's like, man... Like Lucy's a good person and she's trying, but she is that line where she's like, we Vault Dwellers recognize and are thankful for the privilege. But she's like, you can't find common ground, these people, especially when your lead off was like, well, our purpose is to save America, like unironically. It's like, oh, well, when are you going to get to doing that?
Right. We've been up here
I love it.
for 200 years. There's something interesting in that statement, too, I think. It felt to me like that was a prepared statement, not something she was just concocting from her own brain. Is there some knowledge within the vault? Because we haven't seen much glimpse into what they think about the outside necessarily. Is there some training program they go through to where when they surface... eventually they will be able to sort of justify their role in society that exists above ground?
Like this is like, hey, if you meet a surface dweller, launch into this pitch. Or it could just be that she's educated that that's her purpose. And like it's been drilled in her head that's like it's not rehearsed, but the person's asking, like, well, we have I thought you would appreciate the important role we have to play. And maybe. I gotta say, as in my years of being a Jehovah's Witness, no one was ever thankful for the life-saving work I was doing by knocking on their door and trying to convert them to the one true religion. I feel like Lucy gets similar results here.
I was absolutely getting those vibes from that line, from just the way she reacts to it. It's like, oh, I have this canned response to this confrontation, this particular avenue of discussion. Let me trot it out.
Do you think your suggestion of Vault has some sort of theocratic ministry school where they're taught to proselytize to the... Could be. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen weirder shit on this show. Did you recognize the actress portraying Ma Jun?
Yes, but I can't like put my finger on it.
I first recognized her as the like grandma werewolf from True Blood.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And she's like, like a rough looking customer. And that's kind of like what the plays. But you will instantly recognize her as Spooge's Skank.
Oh, yes, of course. From Breaking
Bad. And like, I feel like that, like Breaking Bad's getting to be 10, 15 years into past. Like this woman, I think she got to age 65 at 35 and just is played grizzled old woman that's lived a lot. You know, that's her role's character actor. She's great.
Oh yeah.
Ma June kicks her out, and there on the sidewalk she meets the good doctor, where he again warns her off her chosen path. It turns out this doctor, who his name's Wilzig, is meeting Ma June for safe transport out of Philly. But the ghoul also notices him and knows he's an uber-wanted man. A desperate fight over the custody of the doctor begins. Lucy eventually tries to subdue the ghoul with her dart gun, but fortunately for her, Knight Titus, quote-unquote, clearly smitten with this woman, having the clean hair, the nice teeth, all 10 fingers and toes, shows up to back her claim.
Every time we get close to some real information out of this doctor, he gets interrupted. Like, he drops a bunch of knowledge about the vault and what goes on inside it. And then she asks, like, Lucy asks him, what the hell? How do you know so much? And here comes the ghoul.
Yeah, because especially when he's like, you got to get out of here. So he's like, oh, no one understands me or what I'm trying to do. And he just rattles off this. He's like, you're from Vault 33. Your primary crop is corn. You live in a meritocracy, and like he knew
tell whatever projecting Nebraska into it, yeah.
And like that's not like, okay, I know vaults and they sit like that's he knows Vault 33.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, like, you know, it's like when, you know, the guy's aunt died the first time. Is it possible that this guy is a pre-war survivor?
I don't know what the state of the art in life extension is in Fallout.
Right.
I'm not sure. Because the ghoul is, like,
for sure.
I don't know if that's something that he gets for being a ghoul or if that's something he got before he became a ghoul and now he's just a ghoul in that state. I'm not sure.
That's not a spoiler to say that Walton Goggins is Cooper and the ghoul, right? Like
come on. If that's a spoiler.
Okay. No, I was like, I think we made that clear last episode too, but like, yeah.
Use Cooper your eyes, people.
Cooper turns out same guy as the ghoul.
And use your ears. My God, that accent.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's funny about him is I feel like Cooper doesn't have a heavy accent when he
does not. You're right.
But so he's not a cow. He's just acting like he's acted so long as this character that he has become this character. I think that's.
And here's the funny thing for me. I actually don't know which is Walton Goggins' real accent because I've seen him in Justified, because I've seen him in Righteous Gemstones, and he always has this outrageous Southern accent.
Yeah.
I'm not certain when he puts on, a just standard American accent, if that's a fake or if that's just him, if that's Chris Hemsworth being Australian.
I've seen him in out of character, like in talk shows, and I saw like a 30-minute episode where he took us on a tour through his house. And I would say that he's definitely, I would say country fried, but he's pushing it. Like I mean, because I can do the same thing. I grew up with a bunch of hillbillies. I can put on the go in the library and take my wash down to the creek, but like it's a put on. You know, I know how to do it because I was raised around it, but it's not how I roll unless I'm really drunk. I kind of revert to that. Anyway, there's a couple things in this fight. First of all, the ghoul is a very good combatant, but also we saw him take like 3 assault rifle rounds through the chest and didn't even break his stride nor curb his appetite.
Yep.
So he's got super endurance.
And drugs don't do it. That's a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs.
Because that's the thing is like she's threatened people to shoot this, and then she finally does it, and it just has no effect because he's like, come on, I'm the toxic Avenger over here. The other thing is, did you notice that cherry tomatoes are actually some kind of unholy hybrid of cherries and tomatoes because he keeps spitting out the pits?
Oh, I thought he was spitting out like like the stems, like parts of the top of the tomato. But I think you're right.
No, they're definitely cherry pits he's spitting out. So it's
That
like when he's saying
makes
cherry
sense.
tomatoes, he's not saying cherry tomatoes like we know. He's saying some kind of irradiated, God knows what it is. A couple other world building notes. Apparently, there's 6 bounty hunter agencies that all pull, I guess, like real estates pull from Mybor. They all pull from the same kind of like wanted computers, and so it's a full on manhunt for California for this doctor. His gun fires special bullets to do different things depending. Like couldn't help but notice his bandolier has like all different colors of caps, and he's choosing them for certain effects.
I wonder if he is actually like intentionally choosing them, or if that's just the ragtag collection of ammunition he can scrounge up in the wasteland.
Interesting. But his pistol's blowing like bowling ball sized holes in dudes' chests. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. And Lucy during this whole time is going through Ma Jun's ledger, and she can't make heads or tails over it. So she eventually, I love that speech she gives, and Walton's reaction to it, like when she's saying things like, I got this gun pointed on you, and I don't know what you had this man, but like, if you attack me at this point, I think all the town would agree that and as she says all the town, he kind of looks around at like all the dead corpses and the fact that there's not a living person still paying attention to what's going on in the square. And I get the idea that the ghoul's enjoying himself. He's not seriously threatened. He's just like, oh, you want to try to kill me? Okay.
Which I think changes a bit when Maximus shows up. That's a moment
much.
Right.
He's still laughing and having a good. I think the first time he takes it serious is like when he gets punched through the staircase.
Yes. Yeah.
Which Maximus can't get to him because he's a big. He's wearing he's wearing a 12-piece cast iron cookware set. Another great line.
That was pretty good. I like that. If I were Maximus, I'd float up a little bit and land on that thing. Now he might crush right through it. I don't know, because it's very heavy suit. But
right, that'd take the ghoul down too. And you're wearing the cast iron suit, so. Ma Jun, using this distraction of the night, keeping the ghoul busy, outfits Wiltzik with a prosthetic limb to replace the one that was blown off by the ghoul, and decides
Jim's limbs, baby. Jim's limbs.
Jim's legs.
Yep.
Limbs. Jim's limbs. Boy, this is there's a lot of lunch lore in there if you want to join the club and find out. Anyway, Jim's limbs, I got a good kick out of that. This thing is like, okay, let me finish recapping the scene.
Yeah.
With no better option than to trust the dopey, law-abiding, and trustworthy vault dweller to escort the doctor to his rendezvous with Lee Moldover, she asked her to take him there, and Lucy reluctantly agrees, as it seems like he's the only lead to finding her father. And I don't know if you noticed this. Also, like, I think you're supposed to know that Lucy saw the word Moldover in her, because as Ma Jun is shutting their ledger, there's like a brief thing where you can see in the center of the page is Moldover right there. So
yeah, and she goes back to the book at some point and opens it up, and we see Moldover. So,
but it's like it's an account book. It's not like an address book.
I think you were going to describe the prosthetic.
This thing looks like a I describe it as a Warhammer prosthetic, man. It's like this blunt metal socket with like this flat metal foot. But the mouth of the socket looks like a garbage disposal. Yeah. And you flip it on, and it essentially chews up your leg till it gets to the right part of the joint to mate to, and then seals itself to it. It seems horrifically painful.
So what I think is happening here, and this is my headcanon about how this thing works from what we see of it, I think it's like it threads itself onto your bone is my idea of what happens here. Like you put it on the end, it starts like rotating and chewing in, but the the center of it like slowly constricts as it chews, and then it eventually like wedges itself with those blades into your bone. And
you're conscious the entire... Well, I don't know if you're supposed to be conscious.
You shouldn't be.
You should be conscious, but this guy is. There's just blood flying out, and...
yeah, it's horrific.
And he's going to have to walk through the wastelands on this thing. And I love how Ma June is she's like, oh yeah, wasteland, you're a vault dweller. You guys are honest and true. This could maybe work. Like it's like, whatever, man. She's lost so many caps. That's another world building thing.
Yeah.
They mentioned caps, bottle caps. That's the currency. Nuka-Cola bottle caps in the video game Fallout is the currency of this of this system. I don't know why, why are bottle caps? Like, who maintains the exchange rate? You can't mint more. What kind of fucking economy is this?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Imagine if you could. You'd be a rich man. If you could simply come up with some way to do that.
Could come up with an idea of like how much a cap is worth, because 1,000 cap seems like a pretty good bounty to kill a very lethal guy, but like,
okay, well, you could count, because when he leaves town, the ghoul tosses some bottle caps out and says that's for the cherry tomatoes. Count how many cherry tomatoes he eats, count how many bottle caps it is, there's your exchange rate, and then you could start from there.
But I think it's like there's a sorry about the mess Han Solo component to that, where it's like, I don't think he's paying for the cherry tomatoes. He's just throwing a handful.
Taking him at his word. I agree.
Okay.
I agree. But the man says this is specifically for the cherry tomatoes.
It looks like there's between 6 and 8 caps. So he ate 5 or 6 of these cherry tomatoes, or well, I mean, maybe growing green food is a premium.
Could be. Yeah.
If you don't have to eat cram, which is this universe's version of spam, I noticed.
I think there's a lot of little funny dialogue bits in here too, like when Lucy is just like, "You're working with Moldaver, she steals dads."
And then when she finally agrees, she's pushed into it at her extremity. She says, "Gosh damn it, okay, I'll agree to do it."
And stuff like, Moldaver's type, they hole up across the shithole. What's the shithole?
Yeah, so like there's a worse, so the wasteland is general, but then if a part of the wasteland is called the shithole, man, that really paints a picture. All right, Maximus and the ghoul are still duking it out, but the ghoul manages to take advantage of Maximus's lack of skill and experience to send his suit off flying in a high ballistic trajectory out of Philly. He searches the square in vain for the doctor, then decides to use a free stim pack on 4, reasoning that the dog's nose can sniff her master out. You didn't think that they were going to kill more than one dog in this episode. Because we got at least one incinerated puppy. But
I gotta question this one thing. There's not much I don't like about this show. This is the one thing that sticks out to me. How does a mech suit like this get its foot stuck in any number of boards? Like, just pull your foot up.
It would be, yeah. The only thing I guess is like this is such, because like the ghoul mentions like, oh, basic training ain't what it used to be, implying that like this is, maybe a predicament that you could get yourself into, but like it's probably day one they teach you how to get out of it and he just doesn't know. But like just the sheer leverage and strength, it's a rotten piece of wood.
I just didn't buy it. They could have incapacitated him in any number of ways. That was not believable to me.
Yeah, like sink him into his waist into some scrap, and then yeah, he's flying off. I noticed that Max crash lands into this settlement where there's a guy in what I can only describe as a Bloodborne looking helmet, like some kind of mental asylum cage on his head. And I love this, in a shanty that has, again, no roof and at best 3 walls. He's pissing in a toilet. This is a town of culture, Jim.
Yeah. This is the nice part of town.
Exactly. He's not pissing in the alley. He's not pissing in the street. He's going and pissing pisser as the Lord intended.
Right.
As he's wearing an insane asylum helmet from fucking Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
We're also, this might be important in the future. They established a chicken fucker is a snake oil salesman. He is hawking, things that magically regrow your limbs and does other things. So just keep that in mind. We might see him again. I'm not saying we've resorted to eating human flesh, but if you support the podcast at support.baldmove.com, we won't have to. We're back with more Tales from the Wasteland with the Fallout Boys. Finally, Dr. Witzig is having trouble keeping up with Lucy in the waste because of his clanking leg. He takes some of Vault-Tec's Plan D and tells Lucy she has to sever his head and take it with her so that she can make better time. He commands her to start acting like a surface dweller, then calls her Miss McLean. She wants to know how he knows this and all the other things that he seemingly has at his command, but he's already gone. Lucy throws herself into the grisly task of deheading the doctor with a grim but determined okie dokie. Same enthusiasm she threw herself into sex with her one-night husband. She throws into sawing this doctor's head off with a surgical chainsaw.
Yeah, it's interesting. There are some parallels there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means.
Because
I will say the sex they had did not seem resigned to the task at hand.
It wasn't what she was expecting, but she's going to do it with gusto.
Yeah, she takes life as it comes, apparently. And this is just another bit of life coming at her.
I like the banana flavored cyanide pill. That's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think cyanide tastes like, doesn't it taste like bitter almonds?
So I hear. I've never tried it myself. Couldn't say.
Yeah, me either. It's on my bucket list,
Leave that to the bottom of the list.
Yeah. But the idea that it's telling that this guy says a suicide pill is the most humane product of Vault-Tec ever made. Right. And he's obviously including the silos that are the repository of human civilization. Really makes you think about Vault-Tec and where they are in the good guy, bad guy dichotomy. And again, how does this guy know all this shit? Is he
this
just
is
really
such a loaded
educated
series of statements. I don't know. I mean, clearly he comes from a scientific facility. We don't know the work they were necessarily doing, but he is almost certainly more educated than the average surface dweller. But there's so much in this. Like, he seems personally connected. Like when he says, I was surprised it wasn't more popular, talking about Plan D, that implies a certain affection for the product himself. Yeah. That maybe he worked on it, or at the very least, it's kind of a funny thing. Like, shit got up so bad up here. I'm surprised more people didn't take advantage of this Plan D and just opt out.
Very much perspective of someone before the war, before, the saying that I thought these things would be more popular and they weren't. Like, why would he say that if he was born 50 years ago? Mm-hmm. But I guess it's maybe he's a history buff. He's clearly very well educated because of the research he's doing and being a doctor and all that. But it's the Miss McLean. We already knew he's in league with Moldover, but maybe that's the connection. But big mystery. Yeah, almost as mysterious as why he didn't say just grab the slither out of my. But you're right. There might be he the week before he put a USB drive in his ear canal that has all the information you need to know about the blue splinter.
Maybe. There's another line here where he says, I knew I could trust you. You're a vault dweller. There's some implication in that, too, that I guess whatever faction he's part of has a view of vault dwellers that is positive. And from what we've seen, certainly the vault dwellers are more civilized than the surface dwellers, but we also know that they're the rich people who are able to scurry off into their vaults is I want to say the show is aware enough of its current context to not just plainly state flat out that the rich are good and have all of our best interests at heart. I can't imagine that Jonathan Nolan would have that as a sentiment in his show.
No.
So what then does this mean? Is the show setting us up for disappointment in that regard? Maybe we're supposed to look at this and say, well, in this world, the rich really did have the best interests of everyone at heart, and they're going to maybe subvert that later, or is that just the POV of this world? I don't know much about the Fallout universe.
I mean, the thing is like wealthy people, like, good, bad, or evil. Wealthy people are not usually breaking into houses and roughing people on the streets, and they have things that they could lose. So it's like they're also tend to be well educated, healthy, want for nothing. They probably don't have, but there's. I'm guessing it's like one of those things of you go to like a Beverly Hills school, like a nice neighborhood in Beverly Hills, and their grades are all good. And then you go to like some less fortunate area of Las Vegas and the grades are bad. Rich people aren't smarter, but they're given a hell of a lot more resources. So, of course, the average vault dweller. But I took it as much like not a positive opinion necessarily, but like a predictable one. Like, okay, it's not that vault culture is good. It's just that you guys are a meritocracy and you believe in this shit. So I can predict that, you're going to do your best to keep your word, even though this is the wasteland. No one does that.
Right. I mean, as a surface dweller, that would make a lot of sense for him to say about a vault dweller. And from what we've seen in the show, they are just bastions of civilization and righteousness, as far as I can tell. They're everything other that I worry the Brotherhood is not. Well, look, outside, like in a survival situation, like I said in the first episode, I don't know that there's anything morally wrong with that in a survival situation. You just don't want to be doing it on a Tuesday, in our world. That's just
you don't want to date at your family reunions, Jim? Like, what? This is new information for a guy raised in Southern Indiana. I thought that was prime hunting grounds. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
The family reunions probably get a little tricky, but
guess I dodged a bullet there. Although I haven't really looked too much into Cecily's family tree. Maybe. Anyway.
Yeah.
We got anything else to talk about, or should we get to the spoiler/feedback section?
I just want to put it out there for the record. All my cousins are guys, so it's super ethical for him to fuck them because there's no chance of reproduction. Yeah.
It's morally neutral.
Shrink this gene pool.
You could fuck your brother, honestly, and it would be morally neutral. Oh my God, Talitha's really.
I haven't seen my cousins in 20 years. I saw my brother this weekend, so it's a little too close to home here. Let's not go there.
It's just brother stuff, man. Okay. If you would like to send us feedback, you can do. This is the spoiler transition. So if you don't want to hear spoilers or discussion of the series as a whole, you'd probably want to bail now. If you want to get ad-free feeds and more bonus content, extra shows, and more content from the shows you get, we would love to have your support. Support.baldmove.com to find out all the ways you can support us. And again, fallout@baldmove.com is how you send us communication. Jim, I want to start as I've been doing, because we're recording a few of these in advance, and I don't know if we'll have feedback, but I want to talk about some stuff here. We've already kind of covered the how does Witzig know all this, but like I honestly, maybe this is covered in the finale episode, but I still think that there's a lot of mystery about. I mean, obviously he's working in Moldova. Obviously he's doing, again, I hope you guys are out of spoiler section if you're not want to be spoiled.
Right.
He's working on cold fusion, which is rediscovering technology that Moldova has already discovered.
Is that what it was? Okay. I legit don't remember that.
Yeah, it's cold fusion.
Nice.
And that's like how they're going to save, the world. But like, how does he know the stuff about the vault? How does he know the history? How does he talk about it like he was there?
He probably knows McLean, right? Like, well, because her dad is like a prominent figure in the outside world, right?
Well, he's
my recollection.
We definitely know that he's a pretty important figure in the Vault. And that's the other spoiler is like we do know that there are quite a few board members and CEOs of, or I guess C-suite executives in Vault Tech that are still alive through some kind of suspended animation.
A lot of that stuff.
Yeah. So I think he could be, but so that would make him a Vault Tech employee.
Yeah, I mean that's my assumption is that Vault-Tech is doing all this stuff on the outside with the dog.
Because in the spoiler, like, obviously aside from how he knows McLean, because we'll also find out the Moldavers, like one of her principal allies was Lucy's mother. Right. But I was like the statement that blew my mind the most on the second rewatch is him talking about that Plan D as if it was a prospective product that he was surprised didn't work in market, instead of. It turns out this wasn't very popular. Even it's just the way he talked about it. It's like he had firsthand knowledge.
Yeah.
The other thing is when I was looking at this to see contemporary reactions on the internet, people were in retrospect calling foul about this episode because, like, well, we know that the Ghoul, because he is a former soldier and he did pilot these battle suits, he knows that there's a infamous weak point that his guns can easily penetrate. But he doesn't do it in this episode. And I wonder, there's two possibilities. Number one, the Ghoul's just fucking around. I don't know that I buy him fucking around that much.
Yeah.
But there's this throwaway line that Titus says, or no, I'm sorry, Maximus says to Lord Titus. He says, "Oh, I see you went with the tempered armor layer or something. The tempered layer. Why? Is it because mobility? Well, if you don't know, tempering metal increases its hardness and toughness. It's a way of heat treating it. So I wonder if like there was a Mark II variant that had tempered underlayment that would protect that spot, and the Ghoul knew from looking at it, oh, this is the upgraded version, so I can't do it. Or maybe he didn't have the right bullets with him, because I think when he's mowing down Brotherhood of Steel people later, they actually show him loading armor piercing rounds. They actually say AP on them.
Okay.
But because I was wondering that too, watching, I'm like, wait a second, I know that but maybe this is a different, like this is a T60, maybe saying a T54, and there could be some, but like I just thought that was interesting that it might, it's not an obvious plot hole. That some people are taking it to. Did you have any kind of spoiler things you want to talk about?
Yeah, we mentioned how funny it is when, Michael Rappaport is just like, oh, fuck. This is like a common refrain. Even when Maximus gets the armor and he gets into hairy situations, he does the same thing. He's like, oh, fuck. Like, these knights all seem like they are not super self-assured even in the armor.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is like I don't know what opinion I got from the other knights when we meet them, later in the season. I don't know. So it's like the Brotherhood's a big organization, the big flying ship, I took it as from coming from the main outpost, so it's like maybe they have slightly different politics and culture depending on which congregation you go to.
Sure.
But like the people that we've seen that are the squires and knights so far are not super impressive individuals.
No. And like I said, I've watched the first 3 or 4 now. Because it's so entertaining, I'm going to blitz through the rest of these this week. So I should be caught up by the end of by the next.
It's funny because I got through episode, I think 5 last night too, because I was like, nice. I was wanting to fly through them as well.
And they're easy to get through, even though they're pretty long. The other thing that I wanted to bring up here is this question that Michael Emerson puts to Lucy: will you still want the same thing when you become a different animal altogether? And I think this is a reference to once she discovers the truth about her father, will she still want to save him? It's good foreshadowing for that.
Yeah. And it's like,
and he knows, right? Because he name checks them, he already knows what she has yet to discover about him.
Yeah, it's the best kind of foreshadowing because, like, you take it on its face value that, like, oh, she's a vault dweller and she's just not going to like the person that she becomes. Mm-hmm. But also, there's a pretty obvious other meaning if you've seen the whole series. So I'm finding the rewatch. This is the first time I've rewatched the entire thing after, you know, going through the first time and talking about it on OTR off the or OTC.
Yeah.
OTC off the clock. So I find it's pretty rewarding. It reminds me a lot of go figure, rewatching like season 1 of Westworld, which I've done a couple of times. I've never gone past that, funny enough. But damn, that first season's real good television.
It sure is.
All right. Let's.
I will also say when we get to next episode, I'm going to be really curious to see what your opinion of the CG stuff is there, because it's pretty obviously CG. We'll talk about that in the main cast for next week, I assume.
The gulpers you're referring to?
With the finger mouth thing. Yeah. Love those creatures. They're horrible things.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Jim. Now's the time. Fallout@baldmove.com. We consider feedback. Do we have any? I heard pre-show from Jim that, we're still early, just have one episode out. So we haven't gotten a lot of feedback, but I did get something that I wanted to pass on from our Discord, discord.baldmove.com. Turbo7 said, Aaron, if you, and we know you are, or anyone else is looking for deeper lore videos, check out Oxhorn. And he linked this YouTuber that has a playlist of nothing but Fallout lore. Now, this is in the spoiler section. I would say that all this stuff has got massive spoilers for the entirety of season 1, because these are kind of, a lot of this is retrospective. He recorded some of it as the season's going on, but a lot of it he's done in the 2 years since. But I checked out a couple of the videos. I was checking out, like, because I've heard that people are upset about Shady Sands, and like the time they got nuked is off and it's throwing off something about the nuke. I was listening to that video where he's explaining all that. He's got a lot of stuff, deep dives into the Ghoul, to the Brotherhood of Steel. If you want to, get some more information on the game, what would you call the setting, so that you can maybe speculate on where things are going. But it's also big spoilers for season 1. So if you're done with season 1 and you're hungry for more, check out Oxhorn, and I've asked Halitha to put a link to that person's YouTube page if you want to check out more of his lore videos. Like I said, I've only heard like 1.5 of them, but I'm going to check out a couple more before next week's episode, because I wear it on my sleeve. I love lore. I love finding out gritty, irrelevant details about other universes to distract myself from the gritty, irrelevant universe that I live in. But thanks for that. Appreciate that, Turbo. And check out discord.baldmove.com if you'd like to jump into the Fallout discussion. Fallout@baldmove.com. And again, if you'd like to get ad-free feeds, extra content, bonus content, and the warm, fuzzy feeling of knowing that you're supporting your 2 favorite Fallout boys, go to support.baldmove.com and find out how you can support us. That's it for the retrospective rewatch of Fallout Season 1 this week. We'll be back next week with the 3rd episode. Until then, I'm your post-apocalyptic podcast host, Aaron.
And I'm your vault dweller, Jim.
See you next week.
We're going down.